The water world is a world of the future in which the polar ice caps have melted, covering the whole planet with water. Water World. An adventure show packed with action, including huge steam explosions and dives from a height of 13 meters. The amazing climax will take your breath away.
We have to go to Osaka. Since we had only allocated about 2 days to explore Osaka, we decided for the first day to explore as much of the city as possible. And the first course of action? Get a good view of the city, of course. Having a feel for just how expansive a city is was a great way for us to orient ourselves. And what better way to enjoy the view of one of Japan's most popular cities than with some traditional English beer. As awesome as it was spending time soaking in the view, we had to get down there and experience the place for ourselves. We headed to one of Osaka's major entertainment districts, and surrounding us were countless signs and ads beckoning us to check them out. It was really easy to get carried away, but we wanted to at least track down one of the most famous landmarks in Osaka. Glyco Man. We had a feeling the place would look better at night, so we decided to just explore the area until then. And the place felt even more alive than it did during the day. Masses of people roamed the streets, and this was on a weekday. Street food at every corner. And the signs? Brighter than my future. We could have spent all night exploring this neon-lit city. But we had a big day coming up, and we had to fuel up. So what better way than with some authentic Japanese cuisine? With our appetite finally satiated, it was time to call it a day.
All fare information will be displayed in English.
The main point of attraction we visited Osaka for? Now if you've been to any of the Universal Studios parks, you'll know how long the waiting times are. So it was unfortunately impossible for us to visit everything in a day. Unless you had one of these.
This is a time turner, Harry. This is how I've been getting to my lessons all year.
There was one attraction that was unique to Universal Studios Japan at the time, which we decided to dash for the moment we arrived. You're a wizard, Harry! There was quite a lot to see in this replication of Hogsmeade, and we could have spent most of the day in there. But we had to see as many of the other attractions as possible. So we headed straight for Hogwarts, which was where the main Harry Potter ride was. Unfortunately, and this was the case with most of the attractions in Universal Studios, we couldn't take any pictures of the actual rides. So this is as much as I can show you. Taking a swig of butterbeer, it was time to leave Hogsmeade and head off to where all the action was. Based off the 90s film Waterworld, we were taken through 20 minutes of action, drama, and explosions. Now, I've never actually seen the film, so I had no idea what was happening. And there were no subtitles. Despite that, the whole act was quite entertaining. Moving on, we continued visiting a few other rides which, while amusing, Jaws felt a little dated. Still, we pressed on, trying to see as much as we could, and eating whatever we could get our hands on along the way. Now, what makes this Universal Studios unique to the other ones are things like this. You may or may not have heard of Monster Hunter, but it's essentially a casual 3DS game you spend a little bit of your spare time on. So you can imagine my excitement as I got to see life-size replicas of things I used to spend an inordinate amount of time on. Sadly, it was getting very late, and as much as we wanted to squeeze in a few more rides, it was time to end what was certainly an eventful day. Whilst Universal Studios was the main highlight of our stop in Osaka, with attractions you would only see in Japan, the other places we visited certainly didn't disappoint. We were constantly astounded by just how colourful and vibrant Osaka was. And the food? Despite the consistently crap diet we were having, we did finally end up eating real food. 1 week left, but still so much more to discover. Will we continue to be enamored by the scenery? And how much more food are we going to eat? Look out for the next episode.